UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Well, hey there, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Underground Video Network's We Talk Too Much. I'm Mike Boroff.
And I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Rich, what's happening?
Hey, it's another week. We're on the air. Yay!
Yeah, I know. We were so worried after WandaVision ended. It was like, oh, crap, man. What are we going to have to talk about? Well, guess what? Shit dropped, and we got a lot to talk about. It was a really good week, man. I'm not even 100%. The problem is I'm not even 100% sure where to start. I think one of the first things we ought to talk about, because I haven't got a chance to talk to you, Richard, about this yet, man. The Suicide Squad 2 trailer, the latest trailer, dropped just the other day.
Yeah.
God, man, I'm on board. I was on board to begin with. I am so on board now. I am is Fandango still a thing? I don't know. I'm already ready to buy my ticket for that. I swear to God. I mean, granted.
Oh, yeah, I think it is.
Oh, God. Well, granted, I know it'll probably be available, like HBO Max or something, but I'm telling you, man, I will do everything as safely as I possibly can. I will stay 9 aisles away from anybody. I will wear gloves to eat my popcorn. Rich, I really want to see that one at the theater.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Yeah. It looks like pure, unadulterated, unfiltered James Gunn. Like, you know what it looks like? It looked like the studio finally got smart and said, you know what? The man makes us money. Do your thing, brother. Just go. Because I'm sorry, a DC Universe movie where they're talking about an island full of a big bag of dicks. I'm sorry, that was killing me, man. And you know what? If this entire island was covered with dicks, I needed him. It was, you know what I mean? I was just like, good Lord.
Yeah, it comes out August the 6th. That's when it's due out.
Oh, man.
If it doesn't change, it might change before then.
It really could. God only knows. But I mean, that trailer legitimately looked really good. And the thing that I really liked about the trailer, Richard, was it looked good. How do I put this? It didn't need Harley Quinn to make it look good. Well, you know what I mean? I have nothing against Harley Quinn, but she was the big draw for the first one.
Right.
Nobody gave two craps, it could give a crap less when the first one came out, unless, it was Harley Quinn was front and center. But now this one just looks gonzo. And yeah.
Yeah, I just think this is going to be something. I love it. They even go, we even got kaiju, and it has the Starro.
Oh, they had me at Starro, and I was tickled too. You could tell it's James Gunn, because the one thing about James Gunn that he's always been really good at with a lot of his movies is he's like the BBC. I have a group. I have I have a pool of talent to pull from. And by God, every single movie I make, I will pull from that pool. And it works every single time. Because the one guy that did the kaiju reference, he's a stand-up comedian. And we've seen him as supporting characters in a lot of James Gunn's other stuff.
Right.
He's always thrown his buddies a bone in this one. But yeah, you're right. They even legit said the word kaiju. At first, I squealed. I was like, he said the word. But then when I saw full on that it was Starro, Richard,
Yeah.
we're done. I'm in 110% purely for Starro. That was the test, man. To see a gigantic Starro, I was like, man. And we got this is correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been like a production pitch or something, but this was the first time we got to see Capaldi on screen as the Thinker.
Yeah, I think this is the first time.
Oh, dude, you know damn well I was going ape over that. The one thing after the second time I watched it, Richard, one of the things I thought about is I have a bald head. Just looks like he has chess pieces glued to his head. I have I'm just like gluing chess pieces to I'm like, there's my Halloween costume.
You can be your own new character. Yeah, the chess mind.
Oh, I'll do a mashup, Richard. Everybody loves mashups. I'll wear a doctor costume, but I'll have the bald head, and I'll be like the doctor thinker. That was a joke, but man, I'm really thinking about that one now. But yeah, I mean, and then, oh no, the other one, they had me at King Shark.
No,
like legit had me at King Shark, because not only did I love seeing King Shark, but I like the way they're like portraying him. He's not like the Flash, the CW Flash version, like full on just raging monster, like scary monster. This was more like Harley Quinn, the animated series King Shark.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, we didn't hear a lot of King Shark have dialogue, but enough where you could hear the voice. And I didn't place it at first. But my first disappointment was that they didn't get Ron Funches to do it, because he did the King Shark voice in the Harley Quinn animated show. But after the second time I watched it, I really started listening to it, and I'm like, is that Rocky? Is that Sylvester? Is that Sylvester Stallone going nom nom? I'm like, oh my God, man. It's like, it's Sylvester Stallone going nom nom. And when he did that, because it wasn't just like, Grawr! He literally went nom nom. And I'm like, I was over it. I was done. I'm like, this is everything right now. Another nice little touch, and I know I have a lot of female friends who agree with me on this one. We don't get an over-sexualized Harley again like we did in the first movie.
Right.
We've just got pure badass wackadoo Harley. I love the bit where, and if I find out that you have personalized license plates, I'll kill you. I was like, man, dude, she was genuinely nailing it. And another great example, Richard, another really great example of Peter Gunn pulling his friend, Michael Rooker, the guy that you looked at. Dude, Slither, Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, it's almost a given. Like when you see the name Peter Gunn or James Gunn, I was dun. I can't not do it, Richard. It's a psychological thing. Every time I see James Gunn's name, I think of that old theme song. But and it works for him. He's smart about it. He's like, not only am I putting my friends in a movie, I'm putting my friends that are really damn good.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was so ridiculously excited for that preview. That looked so damn good. Oh, dude, we always talk about this, Richard. Segue. It's going to be segue time, Richard. I'll be damned if I remember his name, and if I was half as professional as you, I would have wrote it down. But the guy that plays the polka dot guy. That was in the preview.
Oh, yeah.
He was an Ant-Man.
I can't remember what his name was. Sorry. Oop.
And no disrespect for him, I love him, and like he's one of those guys who I'm going to fill time while Richard looks it up. He's one of those guys that no matter what he's in, no matter how small of a character he's got, he's always like front and center. He always really takes control. I mean, he gets the attention he deserves in every scene that he's in. He was in both the Ant-Mans. You know, he was the Baba Yaga. You heard this story, yes? Baba Yaga.
I don't want to do his name because I'm going to blotch it up as David Das Malchin.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's however it's pronounced. But that's his name.
But both Ant-Man movies.
Right. Well, he's not going to be in the third one, is he? He's stepping away from the third one, right?
No. It's the other guy.
Oh, okay.
Because he got into some social media trouble and.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I couldn't remember which one it was. Yeah.
No, I'm not 100% certain that he'll be in it, but I know he's not going to be in it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The other one, they booted him out because, you know, people, when you put it on the internet, it's out there.
Yep.
I'm looking at you, Ralph Dibny. Shut it. But not only was he in the preview, he was also in this week's episode of The Flash as Abracadabra.
Oh, yeah.
And a solid episode, Richard. It started to lean back into the over angsty Barry again.
Yeah.
But they swung out of it. But yeah, I loved the beginning part, Richard. I love that. The idea, we never see the reconstruction period after any of these shows. You know, stuff got blown up, you know. Next thing you know, everybody's back at Jitter's Coffee, you know, having a mocha latte, and the world goes on. I'll give them props. This was the first time, Richard, we've seen like actual reconstruction.
Oh, yeah.
After a tragedy, and I love that Star Labs was there. You know, they were all pitching in and helping.
Yeah, I know. It was like they had the T-shirts and stuff and everything. Because I thought that was funny because Irish would go, "Did you bring me a T-shirt?" And she threw her one.
And that was pretty groovy too. The Central City Strong.
Right.
That was pretty damn cool. I really genuinely liked that. Flash's whole thing at the beginning when he was talking to the TV crew, the news lady.
Oh,
I was a little surprised he didn't do the, you know.
Oh.
Flash was always famous for doing that, you know, because, you know, identity and such. But then again, it's Barry. He doesn't give a shit. I'm legitimately surprised on national TV he didn't go, "I'm Barry Allen," and I'm sitting like. At least he kept the mask on, but
and I want a cheeseburger. Oh.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah.
Sorry, I had to throw up a marble.
But another thing about the episode that I really liked, Richard, was that they addressed the issue of like PTSD. This entire city, you know, a large portion of the city had suffered through this, oh, God, I'm sorry, Richard, crisis or disaster. Let's call it a disaster.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't, and I say this in a good way, Richard. It reminded me of Avengers when it showed Steve at the. I liked that. That was a real moment. You know, it's like, this is some bad stuff. We need to address that people are messed up. And I liked that Flash did that. And I was giving Iris a lot of unlove here lately, but I liked the way they were handling her, that she wasn't dealing with the trauma, and it was not dealing with the trauma that was really messing her up more. And I liked that she finally realized that she had a problem and, you know, spoke to the people, course, she had to be the center of attention. Oh, I was there for 3 months. You know, everyone's like, I was there for 3 hours of my life. Oh, I was 3. Oh, it's got to be about you, Iris. Goddamn Lana Lang. No, I'm. If nobody else gets that, I don't give a damn. Richard caught that joke. Like, careful, Iris, your Lana Lang is showing. But it was a cool little, I don't want to say throwaway episode, but it was a cool episode. You know, we got to see Abracadabra, which I always liked that character. You know.
But it was sure a hard way to go out, you know, the old Bane style.
Ooh, man. I'm actually really curious about that villain, Richard, because that one.
Was that Rampage from Superman? I mean,
I think I'm not 100% sure yet, Richard, because so far this has been one of the first villains that we've seen in the show where I didn't automatically recognize them from the comic book. It wasn't like a direct pull that I recognized.
Yeah, well, she looked like Rampage from Superman, so that's what I assumed. Yeah. You know, I just assumed that was who it was. You know, since we're going to have more with Superman, Supergirl, and the crossovers and stuff all happening. So, you know, I just figured that's what they were trying to do. You know.
The one thing that did make me wonder, Richard, and I'll legitimately ask you, do you think, remember at the end of the last episode and the beginning of this episode, they showed the multicolored lightning?
Oh, yeah. That was some kind of time thing or something, wasn't it?
I'm not 100% sure because I don't think that was directly involved. That wasn't Abracadabra's doing. That we still haven't seen. That's what I thought. We still haven't seen exactly what's going on there.
I always get a weather alert whenever we do the show anymore. Noticeably cooler tomorrow.
But another thing I thought about last night, Richard, or the other night when I watched this, Richard, was remember how we joked and we talked about it privately, how it was like the writers realized that they were going down a dead end road and were like, time out, we're just going to fix everything.
Right.
What they're doing with Cisco.
Oh.
Cisco made such a huge deal about giving up his superpowers and not wanting to be a part of that superpowered life anymore. What's the first thing he does? I just made my suit. I just made my powers.
Mecha vibe.
I went to all this trouble to denounce my powers, not getting them back. What's he do? I'll make my powers battery operated. It's like, come on, man. Like I would have accepted, Richard, if like when Barry got his Speed Force power back, if like a bolt of lightning didn't hit Vibe and got his powers back, I would have been better with that than I would have been him making some stupid suit. Because we already saw, what was it, not this episode, but the episode with Mirror Monarch. That suit lasted 5 minutes before it took a crap on him.
Oh,
he was literally like, "Damn, I'm out." You know, and I think I probably spoke for like everybody. Where it's just like, why did you even show? Why are you here? 5 minutes and your suit breaks? Move, mortal, out of the way. You know. Oh, man, I'm on the segue roll tonight, Richard. Here, okay. I'm hitting the profession. Speaking of the CW, some other really big news we got just this last week regarding the CW universe, Richard. Something me and you both called. We are going to be seeing the return of Kate Kane. Not Ruby Rose,
right?
But Kate Kane. And you know what, dude, Rich, you know what was really funny? Was I hadn't watched this latest episode of Batwoman. I hadn't watched it before me and you had that conversation about the Instagram confirmation that the recasting was official.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm like you, Richard. I see stuff like on Facebook and I take it with a grain of salt. You know, like comic book whatever says this. Oh, this person's going to be it. I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. But when I'd seen that Ruby Rose herself had publicly commented praising the actress that took her role, I was just like, oh, this is real.
Yeah, I saw it on Wallace Day's Instagram during the show. She actually posted it during the show, and it's like, what's going on?
Because I hadn't seen it yet, Richard. And what was it? I'm not saying I called it, Richard, because you probably already knew it, but we both said the same thing where I was me and Richard got into this discussion before I knew what was happening. Was there was a bet. There was one or two ways they were going to handle this situation with the recasting of Kate Kane. Was they were going to pull a Darren from Bewitched, where it was just going to be like, hey, Kate's back, and just let it go. We don't address the elephant in the room. We just go. And what was it I said, Richard? The soap opera route with the plastic surgery. Yeah. I swear to God, Richard, when I got home, not an hour after I got done chatting with you, I got home, I'm watching the episode, and I went, called it. But you know what? Like me and you, we were talking, Richard, it's going to make for a good story because here's something we don't know, Richard. She's going to be Kate Kane, but with the reconstructive surgery, I mean, this is me and you right here, Richard. Do you think they could go, again, one or two routes? It could be Kate, oh, it's me, I had plastic surgery, blah, blah, blah. And, or with her looks being as dramatically altered, I mean, maybe Luke and her sister, she might tell.
Yeah,
but
you never know.
But do you think? I think that would be great, Richard, because think about it. Her dad now officially knows that Kate was Batwoman.
Right.
So if Kate shows back up, oh, well, she's Batwoman. But if she comes back, and the only people she tells are Luke, her sister, and of course, the new Batwoman.
Oh, yeah.
But to the rest of the world, she's dead. That's awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know, Richard. I think. No, go ahead, Richard.
I just think I think it's going to work because I wanted Wallace Day to be the part. I really thought she would be the perfect one to take over for Kate. So me that was perfect.
Yeah. I like how they was it Ryan? Ryan is her name.
Yes. Yeah.
Or Ryan. And I didn't have to look it up. My bad memory's getting better. I like how Ryan addressed the elephant in the room. Like, well, what the hell's going to happen when she comes back? Do I,
Yeah.
I'm really interested in seeing it. I like the idea. I don't want to say sidekick, but I like the idea that they might be a team.
Right.
I'm not saying she's going to go full Robin, but
maybe she'll be Oracle.
I'm fine with that. But the biggest takeaway from the announcement is just the possibility of so many great storylines that they could do.
Yeah.
Kate's return, Kate's interaction with Ryan. I really hope we get to see a scene where Kate reads the letters that Ryan has been writing her, or the journal.
Oh yeah.
I really want to see that. I really want to see that moment.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out. But we'll see where it goes.
Then see.
Well, the thing is, they actually already renewed for a season 3, and that's probably going to be the last. So,
yeah,
it's like, what are they going to do? It's I don't know. It's kind of weird situation.
Well, anything's possible, Richard. Maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed. Wells does a really good job as Kate. Let's look at it from her point of view. Dude, I just got this job.
Well, she was on a 2-part series on Krypton, so, or 2 seasons,
Yeah. But hey, again, segue time. Speaking of Krypton, man, this last episode of Superman and Lois. God damn it, Richard. Once again, I come to you completely impressed by Superman and Lois. Richard, I shared it on my Facebook page. Lois said a line of dialogue that hit me so hard, I had to rewind it. I took a picture of my TV screen, but it was when Lois was talking to the boys, and they were talking about doing the charity work for the Smallville festival.
Oh yeah.
And your dad loves doing this. And Lois says, "You boys know your dad's not Superman just because he has powers, right?" I literally was like, I slammed the remote down and I went, this. All of this, everything she just said, that has been my argument for Superman since I was 20 years old. Everybody hurts me. Oh, you just like him because he's got. First of all, let's address reality. It's a fictional character. I know this. When given the right creative team, writer, artist, whatever, when done properly, Superman can be a brilliant book. I'm looking at you, Kingdom Come, and I'm looking at you, For All Seasons and Birthright. When you get a bad writer or bad creator, then yeah, it is me, Superman, me got powers, me smash everyone, F you. But that was always my argument. When well written, it's not about his powers that makes, for me, it's not about his powers that makes Superman great. It's him being a damn good person.
Right.
And she flat out said it right there. It's not his powers that makes him super. It's just like I almost paused the screen and went, "Come here, Lois." I did. We got to see a little bit more backstory with why Morgan Edge is actually really interested in Smallville, the gold kryptonite,
Creature of the Week series.
But I will say this though, Richard, at least it's not going as silly as Smallville was, where like this hunk of meteor rock makes him Bug Boy, and this hunk of rock makes him Duplicate Boy. It's just like, oh, the rock gives him superpowers. All right, I buy it, and that's canon. That's legit. That is from the comic books. I think the first example we saw was actually in Supergirl, but it's still a thing.
Yeah, I think it is. I think that's where it started. Yeah.
We got to see Nerdy Dad Superman again, which I absolutely love. Nerdy Dad Superman, because what makes Nerdy Dad Superman so special to me is that is Clark at his purest form. He's not Clark Kent for the sake of being around other people. He's not Superman around other people. No, this is just him and his family. He has no reason to put on airs. He's a dork. He's a dorky dad, Again, I love the way they're portraying the brothers' relationships. I love that we finally got to address Jonathan being jealous of Jordan.
Yeah.
He wasn't completely cool with it. And that seemed like a real genuine teenage brother thing, like, oh yeah, I love my brother, but secretly, but they're still loving brothers. They're not the stereotypical oh, these two brothers hate each other, and oh, once in a while that no, these two brothers, they're brothers.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah.
Of course, the one wants to go back to Metropolis, so that's kind of crazy.
But the flashbacks, Richard. Oh my God, no! I do not want to renew my Avast. I didn't even touch the mouse, Richard. I purposely avoided it. Oh my! Damn you, McGaffey.
Oh yeah, that's about time to renew, isn't it?
Yeah. Enjoy up to 30% savings if you renew early. All right, I'm not saying I'm not closing it out. I'm just going to minimize that one. Me and McGaffey are going to talk later, but
I miss my free subscription.
I know. But no, the stuff going on with Jordan, that was great, and I love that they were doing the flashbacks, Rich.
Oh yeah.
And I hate to say this because I'm an idiot, and sometimes, Richard, I genuinely forget that I can pause my television set because I was watching Smallville. I heard the microwave ding. I mean, I heard my oven ding. I heard my microwave ding. I got up for a second to get my completely healthy food out of the microwave that I got out of the kitchen. But when I came back, they had jumped into the first flashback, Clark's flashback.
Oh.
I missed that it was a flashback. I thought it was no. I'm serious, Richard. I thought it was an example of like some kid getting a hold of the kryptonite, or having the janky powers like Jordan's friend did. But then I realized I'm watching it and I'm like, what the hell? When I started to see the stuff that the bad guys were taking out, like gigantic, huge, massive TVs that you needed like 3 people, and I went, wait a minute. And I had to rewind it. I went, oh my God, it's a flashback. It's a Smallville flashback. But I like that they did those flashbacks because I like how it paralleled the stuff that was going on with Clark and Jonathan,
Right.
Like, screw you, Mom, I'm moving out and I'm never coming back. And then what's Jonathan do? Screw you, Dad, I hate you and I'm never coming back. I was like, yeah.
Father like son.
Yeah. And it's almost like, Dad, I was never like that, was I? And my dad he's like, the hell you weren't. We got to see more of the background characters get a little time to shine. The woman, the editor of the Smallville Gazette or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, I thought her ticket was punched, man. Dude, I've watched enough TV shows and movies that when the plucky reporter goes out on her own and finds a story.
Oh, yeah.
She usually, I did, and I was like, please don't do this. Don't kill. I like her. Don't kill her. And I was just like, whew. I did though. I thought her clock was punched, man. Because when she was watching that experiment going on, I'm like, this is it. Poor girl. Rest in peace, editor lady. It was neat seeing Clark use his powers intelligently. When he helped put out the fire at the big ag hall, he didn't come in guns a-blazing Superman, which was smart because why would Superman, who was just in Paris a minute ago, be in Smallville?
Right. Yeah.
Don't raise the questions. That writing had foresight. Like, yeah, it would have been easy. And I was in the neighborhood and I heard the fire, No. He did it on the down low. I did. I loved this episode. God, I hope they keep this up. I really do. It's still a really good balance. And I liked to show you how human Clark really is like his overcompensating. Like when he was like flying all over the world, like pulling double duty. It was because like a normal human being who failed at something, he felt like he had to overcompensate by doing, I don't want to say he does too much. Superman never does too much, but he went out of his way to, in his mind, probably make it up to everybody.
Yeah.
Which again makes him relatable. This is why I like the show, Richard. He's relatable. Honest to God, Richard, I think this is the first time in a very, 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 maybe since Smallville, we've seen a legitimately relatable Clark Kent.
Yeah. He's almost too human in a way.
Yeah.
He's been on Earth for what's he supposed to be in his 30s, right?
I remember reading somewhere. No, it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, who, long story short, when DC approached Neil deGrasse Tyson about helping him with an issue back in the New 52, Neil asked him, well, how old roughly is he? And he said he is, what's the word? Not potentially, forever in a state of mid-30s.
Right. But I meant he's been on Earth, like this Superman's been on Earth for like 30-some years. So he's been around humans for 30 years, and he's technically never been around Kryptonians, so he doesn't even have that mindset. So he would be human. I've always thought that he should be written more human-like, even though he can do all these things,
Which we talked about it last week, Richard, because we both watched the Snyder cut of Justice League.
Right.
And guess what, Richard? I did it again. Yeah. I watched it all 4 hours. Okay, granted, I was doing a little housework in the background, but I watched it again. But remember how I told you, Richard, I wish that there were certain elements from like both movies that could have been edited together better.
Right.
One of my favorite scenes in the Whedon cut was when he was talking to Alfred on the plane, and he says, I paraphrase, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but Bruce basically says he's probably more human than I am.
That's a good statement. Yeah.
But I remember it was just after he shaved, and they were talking about, oh, Master Bruce, didn't you say that he's and Bruce was like, in more ways, he's more human than I am.
Right. Huh.
Which, if you think about it, it's really true, because, Bruce is Batman. He's,
right.
Bruce is the costume, so.
Yeah, I love that meme where everybody's holding up their like power, the Wonder Woman's sword, the trident from Aquaman, and he's got that Bowser.
God bless him for keeping that line of dialogue in, though. What's your superpower again? I'm rich. God bless. God, I'm so glad they kept that one. But yeah, I love the show. I really do. And
yeah, now it's on break for a little bit. They had to take a little hiatus, so we get Supergirl back. Man, that news trailer for Supergirl for this coming up. Whoa!
Bring on Lex, man. Oh my God, dude. I am so.
Now, is that a Green Lantern ring he has?
I don't know. Because part of me, Richard, wants to say, because Lex historically wore a kryptonite ring.
Okay.
But it was never it never like had, like projection powers or, like laser powers or however you want to phrase it. But it's not outside the realm of possibility that Lex would make a kryptonite laser gun ring. Think about it. It's smart.
Right.
You can't drop you can. Oops, I dropped it. Superwoman kicks my ass. The ring ain't going nowhere unless you laser blast that off his finger,
Right.
But damn, that looked good. Yeah, absolutely right, Richard. That looked. Oh man.
I guess I misspelled something, Amanda.
But no, Richard, this reminds me. I had a conversation with Jared and them today at Alter Ego. We were talking about, we got the, like I'm vaccinated. I know you're vaccinated. And we've been talking about Gym City coming up. And we both agreed, we'll still be the responsible, mature adults and wear the mask while we're there.
Right.
It was a coin toss, Richard, between there were two suits that I was really looking forward to busting out for Gym City, one of which was Lex Luthor, and the other one was my newly updated Ghostbuster suit. Well, the problem is and I won't let it affect me, but I really wanted to go as Lex, the suit and everything. But the only problem is even with the bald head and the suit,
Right.
are they going to get it?
Oh yeah. Oh, never even thought of that.
Are they going to get it? But it's a minor. It was just one of those minor comic book store talk things,
Well, Amanda thinks that Lex would wear a mask. He has an image to keep.
There's got to be one somewhere. I'm going to find a Superman. Thank you, Amanda. Love you. I just had an idea, Richard. You just saw the form in my head. I'm going to find me a Superman mask. Probably something plain like this with the logo, right? But I'm going to draw the X, right. the Ghostbusters thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Amanda,
yeah, that's what she was just thinking.
Amanda, literally right there. Literally right there. We saw the...
Yeah, she said he did one made with the S in the Superman circle, and I think I know someone that even makes them. So you might want to go that direction too. Amanda says, "I got you covered," or "I got you."
Oh man, I am. I'm excited for everything coming up, Richard. We're not out of the woods yet, but we can see the clearing. I know even today, Richard, I wish I could have gone. I really do. It's been so long. I don't even. This is a side thought. I don't even know if I'm still 100% a part of the group because I haven't been able to do anything for so long. But the Heroes Alliance, Richard.
Yeah.
They had an event down in Delaware today. And it was a very clever event. When I say early, Richard, I don't mean COVID-wise. I mean in the year-wise. But it was like a Easter version of a trunk or treat. Where they had cars pull up, and people passed out candy and Easter eggs. Because when you signed up through the organization, you got Easter eggs that handed kids that had like little gold coins in them or whatever. But they got to attend it today. The stipulation is even if you're wearing a mask, we want you to wear a mask.
Oh, yeah.
But just the idea that even major organizations that reached out to groups like ours in the past before are feeling comfortable enough to, under still proper guidelines, open up things, especially for kids, is a very good sign. I was a little heartbroken and disappointed with myself. I didn't go to it today, but I saw pictures from it, and I was happy to see it.
Yeah, it looked really like they had a fun time. The kids really enjoyed it and stuff. But I also, the Ohio State University is actually going to give me a graduation because the students that were supposed to graduate last year, they announced that a week ago or so on August I think it's 8th or 9th that they're going to have a graduation in the shoe. So.
Oh, I'm so happy for that. I'm so happy to hear that, Richard.
Yeah.
God damn it, I'm happy to hear
by that time, it should be pretty well, Yeah. I think by July, before Gem City, things should be back to getting there, as long as everybody still says, so if you're not feeling well, just don't go out, That's where I think what's going to happen after this is employers are going to have to really start believing their employees if they're sick.
Yeah.
And employees is going to not have to take advantage of the sickness, because if they're really sick, they shouldn't be at work.
Right.
if they have COVID, you shouldn't be at work. You shouldn't be around anybody. Trust me, I've had COVID. You shouldn't be around anybody. And I was, of course, I had it a little different because I was barfing my brains out. I don't want to sound sick to everybody on the air, but I think that's what needs to happen is there needs to be an overhaul with how sick leave works at most employees.
Yeah. Where I work, they've handled it fairly well because when everything first started, it was if you feel symptoms or if you didn't feel comfortable being at work, you could request a COVID time off. But the problem is people did take advantage of it.
Yep.
But they handled it well where if you have symptoms, all we're asking you is if you go to the doctor even if it's not, it was kind of like this, Richard. It's like, even if it's not COVID, but if you go to your doctor, yeah, you have a fever, you're off. We're good with you not being here. It wasn't they weren't being dicks about it, like, oh, we need 4 forms of ID to show that you are actually sick with this. No, from their point of view, they were just like, you want sick time? We just need to know that you are legitimately sick because you monkeys messed us up at the beginning of the year, and a lot of people did. So, but you're absolutely right, Richard, is places are starting to operate more, and I say this in a positive way. They're more able to operate in the gray area. Before it was black or if it was white. You either do or you don't. Well, there's a lot of things in the middle that need to be accounted for, mask, being able to be separated from people, they've evolved their way of thinking about this.
At some places, I know there's going to still be those one places that probably won't, and I just feel that I just think this is hopefully will wake people up, but I just know it won't.
Well, we won't go into it on the show, but there's a certain state that's historically known for making bad decisions. And I don't even think we need to say the name of the state, Richard. I think everybody who's watching knows what state I'm talking about because they've been in the news here again recently for, whoops, we screwed up,
Well, Rhode State didn't even have a spring break this year, so a lot of, but I'm all online, so technically I still could have went to Florida and did all my classes.
Florida, Richard, I'm disappointed in you.
I know I didn't.
You said the F word, Richard.
I don't.
We don't say the F word. But no, and I know I can't give any. I don't have details yet, but I want to talk to some more people. But I had people ask me recently because I'm in the know if I knew anything but was going on about Free Comic Book Day.
It got moved to August, didn't it?
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Richard. Yes. Free Comic Book Day will still happen, but tentatively, as of right now, they have moved it to, like you said, August, which I'm fine for. It's still another thing to look forward to.
Right.
And, I mean, in a circumstance like me, Richard, it kind of falls under the con mentality, but at least cons have a little bit more way of keeping policing things. Not that comic book stores don't have a way, but when you have situations with people in line outside of your store,
right,
technically in the general public, left to their own devices, people's is stupid,
Yeah.
But I think moving it to August was a great idea. I love the fact that they haven't canceled it like they did last year. We want to do this. We're just moving it,
Right. I think, like you said, August should be okay. I think things will start as long as things work. It works, but We got to move on. We got another whole TV series we haven't even talked about.
I know, Richard. I was purposely trying to get anything and everything else that I could think about out of my system before we talked about Falcon and Winter Soldier. Hi, I'm Captain America. Oh, you're not. Dude, this honestly, this is the episode I think people were anticipating from the get-go. You know what I mean, Richard?
Yeah.
We talked about. I think they did it right, character development, but this was the episode that most people would have been happy with being episode number 1.
True.
But yeah, we got.
It had the more action. It had what it needed. It started, I think it's proceeding in the right direction, and the story's constantly building,
Yeah. And another thing that they have done very well with this show is any good TV show like WandaVision, Richard, is when you give people things to talk about. And I don't mean just like reviewing the show, going over what just happened. I mean, when you can have genuine talking points about something, that's what makes for a good show. And just in the last 2 days, Richard, I've had lengthy, really good conversations with quite a few of my friends, our friends, about the character of, was it John Connor? Why am I thinking John Connor? Why do I have Terminator in my head? That's Terminator. Oh, because we were talking about earlier memory bleeding into current wibbly wobbly timey wimey. No, the replacement Captain America. It would have been really easy, Richard, for them to. It's like this, Richard. It's like they knew the fans were going to hate him. They knew no matter what, the fans were going to hate him.
Right.
But it would have been really easy for them to, out of the gate, make him a douchebag that we hated. The problem is after this first episode, I'm watching it, I'm like, so far, now we know the character's history. I know what's probably coming because of his history in the comic books. But as of right now, that first episode with him in it, you're kind of like he's kind of not so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't two-dimensional, Richard. He wasn't just some roided up, ex-Marine or whatever that they threw. He was like the scene, Richard, when he was talking to his wife in the locker room. I assume it was his wife, but it was definitely somebody of a romantic nature.
Right.
That was a good scene. He was the thing with the pinky and that was wholesome. That wasn't a douche. And then when his buddy came into the locker room, you could tell his buddy genuinely liked him, genuinely respected him. He wasn't a douche. And he might have gone about it the wrong way. And again, the opinions and statements offered by Michael Boroff do not represent. I need to make that banner, or at least learn how to say it right. He did extend the olive branch, Richard, to Bucky and Sam. He didn't dismiss. He didn't dismiss them. He wasn't like, "F you guys, I'm Captain America now." F you. He tried. He genuinely tried. He might not have gone about it the best way. He didn't go, "Hi, I'm John." He was like, "I'm Captain America now." I'm like, yeah, ease your pump your brakes there, super soldier. But even when Bucky or Sam were kind of being mean to him, but they were like, "Have you ever? Oh yeah, well, have you ever jumped on a grenade?" And he was like, "Yeah, 4 times." Oh, dude, that was the one time where. Watching that, it reminded me. I pulled a Friday when Ice Cube and Chris Tucker were sitting on the porch. When he goes, "Yeah, 4 times," I was like, "Damn!" I'm like, "You? Oh, I'm sorry, but he got the point in that round." And when he gave his history, I 4 tours, I did this. Even when the therapist had his back, she's like, yeah, I do know him. We served together. I was like, dude, your guys' case isn't being made very well right now,
Yeah.
Now, granted, I'll ask your opinion on this, Richard. The one thing is, though, I really do side with Bucky with him being pissed off at Sam for giving up the shield. I'm sorry. My opinion is Bucky's justified, man. I hate to say it, but Sam effed up doing that.
But I understand why he did, though. He explained why he did, and
right.
it makes sense for why he did that. So I don't know.
But even then, which I agree with, but even Bucky called bullshit on that, because even Bucky called out, he's like, you didn't see that happening. You didn't see them taking it out of the museum to use it. Bucky knew it was going to happen. He knew it was going to happen, and it happened. I understand Sam's point of view. That's a huge weight. But, dude, just, if you're not going to use the shield, put it under your bed mattress or something, man. Hide it. Don't. You gave it to a museum. You didn't.
Yeah, but they probably would have came after him to get the shield anyhow if he wasn't using it.
Probably. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And Richard, I gotta say this though. I don't them replacing Captain America, I could see why they did it. In their point of view, it made sense. I'm not speaking for the government, but from my point of view, Richard, okay, the world right now is very divided. It's always been divided, but there's a new division, with the people that got blipped and the people that didn't.
Right.
What's something that every American can get behind? What's something that can unite all of us again? Captain America. I see their train of thought, Rich. I really legitimately see their train of thought.
Yeah. They had to do his little tour and then try to, bump him up. But, there's been other Captain Americas we've learned now. So.
Oh, my God. Oh, my heart, dude. I can't believe it. You know what? And I love the fact that it hit like Rhodey's cameo. I didn't see it coming. I did not see them coming. I can't believe that they went there, and they went there and kicked the damn door down. I was like, and I wondered, Rich. I really did, because Rich, you know who I thought was going to be at that door first? I thought it was going to be Sharon.
Well, no, he said Isaac, so I knew right away.
But I mean, you know what I mean. She's in hiding.
Yeah.
I really.
But as soon as I heard him say Isaac, I knew what they were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was like a red herring misdirection. It was like an Easter egg for the fans. Like Isaac. Like that was her code. I'm not saying her code name, but like, he can't say Sharon Carter out in public.
Yeah.
But damn, man. This was a conversation we got into at the comic book store just today, which is yet another reminder why you should always go to your local comic book store. Me and Alex got into a conversation with just a normal customer. We were talking about the show. Fan of the show. He didn't know the history like we did. And when me and Alex were explaining to him, like, no, the idea of Isaiah, that's like cemented. That is canon. That is a big hunk of Captain America's history. and it was a very poignant story very poignant story where, yeah, his story always made sense. Where it's like, yeah, the government wants to have a super soldier, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to be honest. According to the comic books, their frame of thought is we need a super soldier, but we don't want to endanger any of our white soldiers. We're going to use this group over here for testing. It happened in history with the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, it was historically accurate, and I love the way that they brought him into the Isaiah into the story. God damn it, his grandson's there, Richard.
Yeah.
How dare they? For the simple fact that they are throwing every goddamn member of the Young Avengers at us.
Yep.
Now, granted, we lost. Well,
nope.
We kind of lost two of them, but we haven't completely lost.
That's part of the original storyline.
Uh-huh.
So, you know.
We've got them. We've got Kate. We've got what was his code name? God damn it, wasn't Starling. But the young Captain America. The young Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
But we got 4 of them so far, man. This is one of those things, Richard, where it's just like, Marvel, we understand what you're doing for the general population, but us diehard fans, if you don't put up or shut up, we're going to come and put a boot in your ass. We want Young Justice. Or
no,
Young Justice.
Young Avengers.
I'm sorry. Don't write me hate mail. Don't hate mail. No.
No, you've been reading about the 4th season. I know that.
Yeah.
It's in your mind.
No, this is my own fault. I always did that. Even back before Marvel MCU. Come on, man. You've got Young Justice and Young Avengers. F you, I have a bad brain. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, well, you know, that's DC Marvel.
Yeah.
Squadron Supreme, Justice League, you know.
Yes. But man, the fact that they went there, and they're not pulling any punches. I thought that was a very poignant scene with Bucky and Sam in the middle of the road, and the cops come, and dude, that was ripped from the headlines right there. But I liked that. But it was a very accurate representation of when the officer finds out who it is he's talking to, just like the bank guy, he shut his damn mouth and was like, "Oh, I'm a fan,"
Yeah.
Like, no, Barney Fife, you ain't getting away from this shit. We know what you did, But in all that, it was poor Bucky that still got arrested for missing therapy. Court appointed. Yeah. But that led up to one of the most iconic scenes that's going to be on this show, Richard. This bullshit. Come on. I know soul searching. Come on. That was an open invitation to a goddamn staring contest. And I loved Sam, because if Sam's like, he was losing it, man.
That was funny when what was it? Battlestar asked him, "Does he always stare like that?"
Yeah. And I liked how Battlestar, was it Battlestar or Cat? I think it was Battlestar. It had also mentioned the big 3.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Even Sam, who does not like these guys at the time, even he was like, "Told you, it's a thing."
But at least we found out, Flag Smasher, and a little bit more of the backstory of that. So
yeah. Again, when I am wrong, I will say I'm wrong. It was the red hair that was throwing me off, Richard. She looked so much like Sin from the comic books.
Right. I think they did that on purpose.
Very pop, because not even just with the red hair, her physique. She looked like the comic book character of the Red Skull's daughter, Sid. She really did. She really looked like her. But you're absolutely right. They probably did that on purpose.
And you never know. It might be down the road, or like a genetic clone, whatever. You know how you never know Marvel.
Oh shit, dude! The other thing I thought was absolutely freaking brilliant was when Sam tried to be a smartass, like, oh whatever, White Panther.
Oh,
and Bucky was like, no, it was White Wolf, and Sam was just like, for real? It was just he tried to be a smartass.
And then Bucky was already up there. Then he just appeared.
Yeah.
Falcon.
The one other thing I was surprised they didn't do was, and it wasn't just me. I talked to a couple other people. I could see how this rubbed him the wrong way, but the fact that how casually Captain America kept calling him Bucky, like, whatever, Bucky, come on, Bucky.
Oh,
I really was genuinely. Jared and Ax both agreed with me that we were really expecting Bucky to go, you don't get to call me that.
right.
That is a nickname. You don't get to call me Mikey. You don't know me that well yet. Richard can call me Mikey. My dad can call me Mikey. My friends at work call me Mikey. I don't know you. You don't call me Mikey. But the way that he kept saying...
But Bucky's not a nickname. Bucky is his real name.
Well...
That's his civilian name, is Bucky.
Well, it's James.
No, it's Bucky Barnes.
It's James.
No, in the MCU, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's Bucky Barnes.
Well, even Zemo kept trying to call him James when he was interrogating him, and Bucky's the one that said, "Call me Bucky."
Okay, I'm just saying that's what they're.
But
you know what I mean. In the official cards, that's what they're doing. But yeah, he's not supposed to know his name. He's supposed to be, Winter Soldier or whatever,
Yeah.
Or you don't call somebody by their first name, because that's what always bugs me in college now. The professors wants them to call you by your first name, not your last name, or Professor so and so. It just drives me nuts too. So that's the same thing,
Yeah. I loved when Bucky jumped out of the airplane.
Oh.
And he crashed. He's like, Red Wing got that all on video, don't you? It's like, I hate you. It's like,
that was funny when the Flag Smashers crew, he broke the Red Wing. He goes, you wanted to do that.
No, Bucky said that. He goes, I always wanted to do that. I was like, oh my God. It's like right in the middle of this hardcore gangster fight on top of a moving semi-truck. He just flat out, I'm not saying he broke character, but he was just like, I always wanted to do that. I was like, he's getting his ass beat, but it meant so much to him to say that. And then later on, Sam calls him on his bullshit when Bucky was just like, I'm really sorry what happened to Red Wing. He's like, no, you're not. He's like, and that was the one thing, Richard, I'll be the first to admit, that was one thing that threw me off in the promos. Was we all knew who Red Wing was, but it was weird the way it almost made me think that somebody else had taken the name, because Sam kept referring to him as him. He said this, he did that, it's like, I kept thinking, like, well, maybe he has a, not co-pilot, but, like a handler maybe, but nope. He still genuinely refers to that robotic bird as him and he. This is my buddy. This was like, it wasn't like a pet to him. This was like, no, it wasn't like a piece of hardware to him. This was his pet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this is my dog, Red Wing. He's a good dog. She's a good kitten. Red Wing, he's a good boy.
But that falls back to the comic book a little bit because he really did have a Falcon in the comic book, so that is homage back to the comics itself. But I think it makes more sense him having a drone, that's tied into his visor, so it would help him. I just think that's more because it always seems like the MCU is so Iron Man-ish. If you want to understand, Spider-Man is more Iron Man-ish. Everything seems like it all is Stark related.
Yeah.
Just wait till Fantastic Four and we can get Reed Richards to make stuff. Oh.
We need Reed Richards in the universe. 2 words, Richard, that will change everything. MCU once the Fantastic Four shows up. Unstable molecules.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is going to revolutionize the costumes in the MCU. If you're watching the show and you're not a hardcore comic book fan like we are, and I just lost you at unstable molecules, believe me. Those 2 words were the end-all, beat-all, get-out-of-jail-free card throughout the Marvel comic book universe for decades. Well, how does this suit not catch on unstable molecule? Well, how can he stretch it? Unstable molecules. Well, how did he make that red light? Unstable molecules.
Banner's pants.
How did he get that great coupon discount at Myers? Unstable molecule. It was the get out of jail free card. Oh. Because I remember a lot of times where they didn't retcon stuff, but like when a writer screwed something up, like they didn't take something into account, what did they fall back on label? Oh, well, didn't I ever tell you that was made from Reed Richards' Unstable Molecules? Like, oh, problem solved,
I mean, that's how Fantastic Four got so rich. He owned the patent.
Yep. Oh man. But man, going back to Captain America again, Richard, that was the way they're handling him is really good because he's not a 2-dimensional character. He's not just somebody that's a complete arrogant jerk. It was kind of refreshing to see how nervous he was in the dressing room, just being able to say "Good morning, America."
Right.
That wasn't some "I'm better than you, holier than thou," shielder. And that was the other thing about him that impressed me when they were showing the footage of him slinging that shield.
Right.
Dude, that was pretty dope. Come on, that was dope. Because I'm sorry. It's not even just super strength or, being ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
There's a skill set to that shield.
Yeah.
Well, we have a vague idea what's probably going to end up happening down the road because it was one of the things they showed in the preview, Richard, was the fact that Sam hasn't quite gotten that skill down yet. We saw that in the previews.
Right.
It was like bing, bing. Bing, bing, ah,
Yeah, something's got to happen. I mean, we get Sharon Carter next episode, so
that was a brilliant explanation too of why that was a bad idea, and I really like the way they're fleshing out Bucky.
Oh,
I love the character that Bucky is becoming. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he was the one that pointed it out to Sam, like, we can't just steal it. Remember what happened the last time? Yeah. Sharon's the enemy of the state, and we had to fight across 2 continents.
Yeah.
Bucky is the voice of reason.
Well, he's the oldest in the room. He's 109.
How old are you, 109? Oh man, I do. I am really it's such a good show in such a completely different way. And we're gonna stop talking about it sooner or later, but it's so good in a completely different way than WandaVision. We're talking about how good the show is, whereas WandaVision, it was more like, well, what do you think's going to happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With WandaVision, we were always more focused on the future, and Falcon and Winter Soldier, we are focused on what's happening right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the whole thing with these 6 episodes is setting stuff up for other stuff that's going to be happening down the road. Because if they do a season 2, I really think they need to keep going with this. So there's season 2 or continuation or something. Because I just want to see like if they could tie Shield into it somehow.
Yeah.
And get things like straightened out, and we actually see Shield on the rebound or something, because if the future episode of the last episode of Shield is any indication, I think all that should just gel together, and
my end all beat all, I know it will never happen fantasy for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Last episode of the season, final episode, Richard. Coulson walks into the room. Bucky Barnes, big fan. Fades to black. I piss my pants. I go to bed. Because goddamn well Phil Coulson's got that Bucky Barnes baseball card somewhere. He's got that in his collection. Oh, but man, let's talk about that fight scene on top of the semi-trucks, man. That was badass. Because I loved when dude, did you notice like when Bucky was chasing out that semi-truck? Mother was fast.
Well, they're in Europe. You drive fast on the Autobahn.
Dude, no, Bucky was like, dude.
Oh, running like that. Yeah.
If you're trying to convince me his quote unquote powers end at that arm, I'm calling horseshit, man. Because, dude, that was superhuman speed when he was chasing that semi truck. But that was so balls out awesome when he opened that truck and it was that girl. Like, I'm here to rescue you. It was like the anti-super or anti-Star Wars moment where it's like, I'm here to rescue you, and next thing you just see Bucky get his ass handed to him and knocks him completely out of that semi truck, man. I was like, damn. And dude, that one moment when Bucky caught the Shield and Cap, or I hate calling him Cap. I hate calling him Cap. But when Bucky caught that Shield and Cap just so nonchalantly walked past him and took it, it was like damn, gangster.
John Walker.
John Walker, thank you. That's one of those conjumbles in my head, Richard, where I hate to even admit this, but when I hear the name John Walker, I think of Johnny Walker, and it makes me want to drink some whiskey. But he did, John. He did. He tried to extend the olive branch. He might not have been the best at it, but
right.
I got to admit, Richard, in my personal opinion, I thought Bucky and Sam were both a little too dismissive of him.
Yeah.
Quickly dismissive of him. I still think that, and I don't know, somebody made a really good point that maybe he legally wasn't allowed to, but it wasn't like it was a secret that Bucky Barnes and Sam Wilson were very close partners to Steve Rogers. Hey, Mike, we want you to be Captain America. Somebody's going to do it. We want it to be you, but it's going to happen one way or another. Cool. But let me talk to his friends first.
Right.
That would have probably made this bad situation better. Hey, name's John Walker. Look, government wants me to be Captain America. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I want your opinion. I want your I want your partnership. You don't have to like me, but they didn't get that. So maybe that's where some of that resentment comes from. But you got to admit that was kind of a D-bag thing for the government. Well, here's another great reason. Here's again, in my opinion, the reason why they haven't expressed it yet, Rich, but I think that the other reason why Bucky and Sam are so reluctant to put their trust in John is because, remember, Sam was one of the ones that was with Cap when they were against the idea of the Sokovia Accords, because they were against the idea of Captain America working directly for the government.
Right.
How long is it going to be until they put us in a situation where we don't want to be there? Or what happens if there's a situation where we want to be there and the government won't let us? That's where I justify Sam's actions. He's already said it in Civil War. He's already, him and Cap have both, expressed their, distrust towards putting their ideas into a group like that. Because look what happened with S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. got infiltrated by Hydra and shit went south.
Yeah.
It's not above the realm of impossibility to think that the U.S. government might not have something how do we know there's not two dudes in the Pentagon, men's room? Hell, Hydra, It happened before.
Yeah, or even the Oval Office. Who knows?
We've seen that storyline too.
Yeah. We get a new Cap, and he's Hydra. Oh.
I really do. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts, Richard. Nine times out of 10 here lately, I've been wrong about a lot of stuff, and I will admit it. But I'm foreseeing a conversation with at least Sam and Bucky, if not somebody else there in the room, why they don't trust John. Right now, we don't exactly know why, aside from that they're feeling a little resentment. They haven't really vocalized it yet. They haven't gone to their therapy session yet, Richard. What? Mr. Barnes, don't get the notebook out. Why don't you, The closest one to do it, though, what was Bucky, was when Bucky, oh, dude, that was a real good moment. A really genuine good moment was when Bucky confided, if Sam was wrong about you, he could have been wrong about me. That's why.
Yeah.
That's why Bucky's not fond of Sam right now. Not because of Sam specifically, but what Sam represents to him. Steve trusted you. In my eyes, you failed him. That means that I'm fallible in Steve's eyes too.
Yeah.
Dude, if you'd have told me a couple years ago that Bucky Barnes was the most, granted his therapy sessions are court mandated, but if you'd have told me a year or so ago that Bucky Barnes was the most emotionally woke member of the MCU, I'd have called you a damn liar.
I just wonder if this is going to lead into anything to do with the Avengers, when the Avengers come back,
Yeah.
I just hope they just set some stuff up. Of course, like I said, I'm thinking too deep, You gotta remember, the series is the series. It's what it is. It's a TV series on Disney Plus. So, and you gotta be able to watch the movies without actually knowing what happens in the series. So it's not going to have that much effect, but I still see this going in different directions. Power Man could return because there's some elements, from the super soldiers stuff, that has to do with Power Man. So, we know it could take place now. There's a lot of little things that we know that, like, some stuff that could happen can happen now, and it's all logical too. It's not far-fetched to bring this back, and it all kind of fits together now.
And if you think about it, that's one of the things that Marvel has been really good about, is the long game, where we knew so many years ago. It's hard to even fathom, Richard, how long the MCU has been going on. But we knew Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet was the end. I'm sorry, I don't mean to say it like, but was the end game.
Right.
Dude, how many years did it take us to get there?
Yeah. Well, just think. We're finally going to get the 10 Rings story. And that's from day one of the MCU, basically. And we haven't heard, I mean, we've had a lot of misdirections over the year, but we finally will get that. And see, does that come out? That comes out February next year, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we got a couple more months. Okay,
But
not quite a year.
But think about it, Richard. The idea of a new Avengers team could be like the Infinity Gauntlet for this phase of the Marvel Universe. We know it's going to happen, but guess what? We're gonna take our time, do it right. We're not going to. I doubt, Richard, we're going to see this catastrophic event that causes the formation of the new Avengers within the next year or so. I don't see that.
No, I don't see that happening until at least 3-4 years out.
I agree.
Maybe phase 5.
I agree 100%.
Because it looks like we're going into the multiverse stuff with Doctor Strange, and Spider-Man and stuff, and then you got Thor and Guardians 3, which is going in this cosmic direction, and then Fantastic Four.
The Eternals.
Yeah, the Eternals. That's a starting point. I'm still kind of shy because of what happened to the Inhumans, but
yeah,
they're dealing with a lot of stuff that's unknown to the major populace of the world. How many people knows who the Eternals are?
Yeah, but how many people knew who the Guardians of the Galaxy were?
True. Yeah.
But that does remind me, Richard, when you said something about the Inhumans earlier, just a second ago, it was one of my favorite jokes. Is like, hey, Rich, guess what? I just finished my Medusa cosplay. You like it? Looks good, does it? And I'm also working on my Black Bolt costume. Yeah.
Of course, they could do that better now if they would try to bring them back.
Oh, I fully believe Marvel deserves a do-over for the Inhumans. They earned the do-over.
I think by like the third Fantastic Four.
I would hope. You know what? Honestly, Richard, now that you mention it, I would really rather them wait for the Fantastic Four to even do anything with the Inhumans, just because of the relationship with Johnny Storm and
Crystal.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes more sense, And
again, Richard, it goes back to the conversation we had earlier, where non-comic book fans of the MCU are like, it's over, man. They blew their load. It was like, dude, you don't even. Let me give you a list of characters of teams and stuff that they haven't even scratched the tip of the iceberg yet.
Right.
And Fantastic Four is usually one of the first. Well, Cap's gone, and well, how are they going to? Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that's going to redefine everything, and then you get mutants. You get X-Men. Wherever they're going to go with that. So
yeah.
What I think is cool, I just heard that the new Mutant movie is going to pop on HBO Max.
Oh, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I just probably have to keep. I'll probably have to keep HBO Max just to see it.
Dude, I'll loan you my copy. I'm not kidding you, Richard. I really liked it. I rented it on Amazon. And that following weekend, I bought the DVD. I bought the Blu-ray.
Oh, wow.
If you're looking for an X-Men story, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. For what it was, for the story that it was, Richard, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
But the nice thing about the movie is, though, Richard, I mean, they didn't shy away from it. They mentioned the X-Men.
Oh, did they?
They flat out refer to the X-Men. Because the kids that are there at the hospital are kind of under the impression that they might be getting prepped for the X-Men.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not the case.
Yeah. It's more like Legion, right?
Oh my God, we could do an entire show on Legion. Me and I'll give him this, man. My nephew Corey watched all of WandaVision, but we talked about it a lot. He watched Legion, and even my nephew Corey, when people were like, "Man, that WandaVision is like the weirdest thing Marvel's ever done," and even Corey was just like, "No, it's not. Not even close." WandaVision was weird. Legion is weird.
Well, I was hearing those rumors that they're even trying to think about doing a true Deathlock movie.
Oh my God.
I know it took place a couple years back, but
Yeah.
But I always loved those original with, those were really good. So, but and then of course we haven't even talked, MODOK's coming out on a Hulu, and we haven't even talked about that because I made a note that I would bring that up to make sure we would touch on that.
Dude, I watched that preview so many times and catch myself laughing so hard. I was like, oh my God. It's almost, you know what, honestly, Richard, again, these are my opinions. We always make jokes about how Marvel has been trying to steal from, or DC's tried to steal from Marvel, like dialogue stuff. Oh no, this flipped the script because the first time I saw that preview from MODOK, I went, "That's Harley Quinn." That cartoon is Harley Quinn with MODOK. I was just, yeah.
But Patton Oswalt as the voice.
Oh shit, dude! There was honestly one of the big reasons is because I know how big of a legitimate fan Patton Oswalt is for Marvel. He is a fanboy. When I first heard his voice doing MODOK, I thought to myself, there is nobody else in this entire world that could do MODOK better than Patton Oswalt.
Right.
This coffee's cold. Oh God, that looks so good.
Yeah, we haven't even touched on that. I don't know why we keep forgetting that every week. I made a note on my screen here. Make sure we talk about it.
Well, I think the reason is, Richard, is because it's not getting the press it deserves.
Right.
We've seen one preview. It barely got it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like WandaVision or Falcon and Winter Soldier, where the previews were everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, here, there, here. No, it was just kind of like, here's a YouTube trailer for MODOK.
Yeah.
We'll see you in 2 years. They didn't get nothing for it.
But yeah, that's good. And then of course now Black Widow being pushed back,
Black Widow got pushed back. Ghostbusters got pushed back again.
Yeah.
Man.
At least Wednesday I'm going to be happy.
Remind me.
Godzilla and King
Kong. Thank you. I'm sorry. No. I was in the Marvel. I was in the Marvel headspace.
Oh yeah, I had to go outside. I had to step outside.
No. Oh God, yes. Oh my God, yes.
And especially after we know that there's a certain robotic monster is going to be in it for sure now. Since the toys got leaked.
Dude, Richard, here's my new old man thing. I can remember a day when you used to have to wait for the movie to come out to buy toys for it. Remember those days, Richard?
Well,
remember Remember when we
you had to order them ahead of time at Sears just to be able to get it.
Yep. Dude, I knew we were in trouble, Richard, because I can genuinely remember Return of the Jedi. That movie came out on a Friday. It wasn't until next Friday you saw that first that first Return of the Jedi toy. But Phantom Menace comes along 2 weeks before the movie comes out. Here's every single toy we are ever going to make, including cups and sweat socks and everything. We're going to flood you with everything 2 weeks before the movie comes out.
Well, that's the first time they did the Star Wars release night or day or whatever. What do they call it? That's because I remember standing in line at Toys R Us so I get the first batch. Yeah, because I think you was there because you showed up a little late, didn't you? Because I was already in there and you was running late because of work, wasn't it, or something?
That was Blockbuster. I think that was still around Blockbuster Video days.
Yeah, because you left straight from there and came down. I remember you telling me the story.
Yeah, because I was at work and Blockbuster closed at midnight, and they did that late night thing where it was like they opened at midnight. I remember, oh my God, Richard, I can't believe I legitimately remember this. I remember sitting in that back room hauling balls, counting the till. Like,
yeah, I remember you telling me.
I remember that, man. And
I was 20th in line because my cousin was there with me because I didn't even realize he was there and he was there with me because that's before I even knew you guys quite yet because I didn't even meet Peanut and D-Boy until the movie release. Yep. So, you know.
I got 2 words for you, Rich, when it comes to that pre-release of the action figures. And I remember this. Man, check out this Rick Olek. Dude, he's a pilot. This dude's going to be huge. 2 lines in the entire fucking movie.
Well, at least you didn't run out and get the Jar Jar Big tattoo on your back.
This guy's going to be huge. Oh, I know. I'm right there. Oh, God bless. I love you, Richard. I am right there freaking with you. Don't go to the dark side, the dark side, the dark side. Oh God, Richard! Frack, I gotta watch that movie, man. It was barely even a month or so ago. Me and another friend got into a conversation about that movie because it had something to do with the movie coming out, and it was just like, well, what if that movie sucks? And I started chuckling. I go, that was the entire premise, basically, of Fanboys.
Yeah.
Was the end of the movie is like, what if it sucks? I
still remember when I first saw that because the directors were in Columbus and they introduced it because Josh was there and some of the other ones from Alter Ego at that time came down in Columbus and I ran into him in the lobby waiting for the release because the directors literally drove down from Canton or Akron or wherever they were at to introduce it to the world because I was at one of the world premieres of it. So.
Oh man.
I mean, it wasn't the red carpet premiere, but it was like a pre-type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was as close to a red carpet premiere that Ohio has ever seen.
Close, yeah. I was at the original Men in Black premiere, and we're not talking the one with Will Smith. I'm talking the originally Men in Black movie.
Oh, it wasn't Boom comic book. What was it? What was it, Richard?
No, it was even before the comic book. It was these guys in Mansfield, Ohio, owned the rights to Men in Black, the movie. Yeah, Paramount had to buy them out. Because I actually went to the premiere. I mean, they had a red carpet premiere for this movie in Mansfield. Because me and a couple of my friends, I literally drove from Kenton to Columbus and back to Mansfield just so we could go to that movie premiere.
You know what, honestly, Richard, I don't know why this pops into my head, but that would be a great, I don't know, maybe it would have been good for Big Bang Theory, but a great episode would have been the idea that, you know how, perfect example, the guy who had, what was it? Was it tire? It was something, I think it was like the word tire or something ridiculous. or like vulcanized, like he had patented the word.
Oh yeah.
And then it was like a very common word. But once it was released that the word itself was never, that it was trademarked by some guy that lived in like podunk nowhere. He ended up making a shitload of money from it. But it was around the same thing as like what you said to Men in Black. Could you imagine an episode of like Big Bang Theory where they make that realization? So they just start spending, like spending like a few $1,000s worth of buying all these domains that they think would make good movie titles.
I would never do that. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Richard, I own the domain to When the Chips Are Down. Because somewhere down the road, somebody will make that rom-com. Just random stuff like that. Like all or nothing. When the chips are down.
Remember the Rebels in the V relaunch? They're saying on the wall, "I own that domain."
Yeah.
I bought that because I thought it was I actually redirected to Underground Video Network at the time. You remember I did that? Because I thought V was going to take off because it looked good when it first launched.
It was.
And then all of a sudden it just kind of didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. V, because I remember because it had Morena Baccarin in it. And I remember like, Richard, here's what it was. I remember because I was still with my ex-wife at the time. I think we were just dating. I remember because even she really liked that show.
Yeah, it was really good, but it just didn't go anywhere.
It like vanished.
It was like one of those things that it didn't get renewed and like legitimately just vanished.
Yeah, it just didn't have the ratings. It was just not there. There was no money. So if you don't make money, you get rid of it. And then you remake it later on another. Uh-oh, we're running out of stuff to talk about. That's not like us.
I know. I have. One other thing, and we'll wrap this up soon. This is just for anybody out there that's still watching. I watched the 3-episode premiere of Invincible, the animated show.
Yeah.
Dude, so good. First of all, the one perk to it was I like the animation to it.
Yes.
I like the it reminded me a lot of the comic book. It just had that bright, vibrant, not real cross-hatching, simple.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. Clean is the word.
Yeah.
And
a lot of blood. And a lot of blood.
Dude, I went into it thinking I knew what to expect. I was like, they did not pull any punches, Richard.
Nope.
Not a Omni-Man sure as shit didn't pull any punches. God damn, those are some of the grisliest. Damn.
I didn't really read the comic book series, so I'm experiencing this as it is, so I might have to pick up the graphic novel to go back and reread, but I never really bought the series.
I know, and this is for anybody out there watching. I don't know how many more they have left, but I know Alter Ego, and I'm pretty sure other comic book stores have I think they made an edition for Invincible #1 for Free Comic Book Day. But you can get a copy of Invincible #1 for free.
No.
At the comic book store. Well, give me 2 seconds, Richard. Talk amongst yourselves. Here's a topic. Revolutionary industrialism was neither. Okay. Oh my God, I'm old, Richard. I can't say that.
Oh yeah, the whole series was really good. Like Mike was saying, the animation was really good, and I really like the story because it's like it's like Superman having a son who has his powers basically, and he's learning how to use them, and he's like in high school and he's got the whole Peter Parker thing going on and stuff like that. Oh, Mike's got it.
It was a free comic book day, but it's still current. It might have been from last free comic book day, because if you see here, coming soon to Prime Video, so it might be a re-release. Oh,
or maybe it was something from last year.
Possibly, because this is a fairly new book. This book only came out, Firepower, within the last year.
Okay.
Oh, this is another one, and it's a Robert Kirkman book. Richard, this is not a superhero comic book. This is in my pull. I like this story that much. But yeah, you can pick this up. I'm sure. Well, since it's free comic book day book. Oh, this is. Yeah. I remember picking up one here and there, but it was like never in my pull. But there were
I read the first one off the shelf and I never bought it. I put it back on the shelf. I just wasn't into it, And I know Mike Watson and Victor Danridge and those guys was really into it back in the day when it first was coming out. So
that just the first 3 episodes, man. And you know me, Richard. I'm all about the voice actors. Dude, they nailed the cast.
Oh, did they?
They are so good. And the thing I like about Invincible is, in and of itself, is legitimately a good book. But I still like the way, especially more in the animated show, they flat out make fun of DC. The Batman, the Aquaman, War Woman. You know what I mean? Like they didn't pull any punches. You know what I mean?
Right.
The Flash, which we mentioned that again today too, because we were talking about the Snyder Cut, and about how I like how they handled Barry, or how Barry was so much better in the Zack Snyder Cut. But one of the things I absolutely loved, Richard, and I think it was the first or second episode when they show, what was it, the red blur, or I can't remember their version of the Flash, but when he pulls all those people out and they're standing around, and everybody that he super speeded out started throwing up because they got
yeah.
And then I like, because he's like, oh no, this happens all the time.
Because I'm not making fun of me, but he's Russian in the animation. But he's like, it happens all the time. He goes, all the time they throw. He goes, when they do it, then he starts getting sick. So like everybody he super sped out just started yakking, and it happens like all the time. And whenever it happens, he ends up throwing up too. One other quick, Richard,
comic book I wanted to mention. I just picked this up today. Was Firefly, a brand new verse.
Oh, okay.
This is a good jumping off point for people. I just had this conversation. Oh, I need to get a hold of her. I just had this conversation a week or so ago, because we were talking about Firefly. And I'd mentioned that in the comic books, the Boom series of comic books is within canon. It does take place after the events of Serenity. And I had mentioned to my friend that Zoe had a baby, and that evidently, for the timeline, she had to have been pregnant during the movie Serenity. And I had a couple people ask me about it, because in the comic books, the very recent comic books, it's actually adorable. The crew is helping Zoe raise Anna, right? Yeah, but even Jane Cobb, like, nobody wanted him to have anything to do with that baby. Like, don't even go near her. You'll drop her. He became very protective of that baby. It was so sweet. But this story right here takes place in the future
of the Firefly universe. This is the daughter of Zoe and Wash, and I haven't read it yet. I just got home like an hour or so ago. Don't kill. But she takes over. She's been handed down Serenity,
Oh, okay.
and I shouldn't have opened that. God damn it! I shouldn't have opened that book, Richard. I opened up the page. I shouldn't have. But yeah, I just picked this up this week. If you're a fan of Firefly, I really recommend going back and finding the trades from the earlier books through Boom. But this is a really good jumping off point. This is going to be like 100% new original stories. Well, they are all new and original, but yeah, the daughter of Zoe and Wash, grown, and she has been handed down Serenity. Just picked that up this week. I really recommend that one.
Oh, that's cool.
But I'm tapped out, Richard. I haven't. Dude, it's been. There's. I wish I had a video game to talk about, Richard. I've just been playing the same game that came out like 2 years ago for like the past 3 months. Nothing. Well, it was funny, Richard. I got into this conversation just like a week or so ago at Alter Ego, where remember the super mega hype about the PlayStation 5, Richard, where nobody could get it, and it was. You still can, but the problem is everybody wanted the PlayStation 5 for Cyberpunk 2077, and when everybody learned that game was a steaming pile of dog shit because it wasn't ready, dude, have you noticed you don't hear anybody you don't hear any press or anything about that PS5 anymore?
No.
I thought about that today, Richard, because I was at Walmart and I was looking at the video games and I was looking at the PS5 games. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot about that. I forgot about the PS5.
Wow.
But I haven't heard, nothing really majors on the horizon. So, I mean, we got new shows. Hopefully we'll have movies coming out soon. Comic books have been picking up. This has just been a relatively slow week.
I know what I did. There was a new Power Rangers on Nickelodeon. There's a new batch of Dino Rangers.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, and they got a new Green Ranger, and she's something else.
Really?
Yeah, it was really wild. When she first did the whole activation thing, and she got her suit, and she looked like a Pink Ranger, but with green. She goes, I can't do the skirt, and ripped the skirt off and threw it.
That's dope.
I thought that was just perfect for the character and stuff, and it was. They've only got like 5 episodes out. They're from another, like one of them's from another planet, and they got a dinosaur, and then they're on like it's like they're in Australia or something where it's set,
Oh, and I would believe it. I know a lot of the I lost my way with Power Rangers a long time ago, like after the original group, when it went to like Turbo or what. I was like, I'm out.
I still watch them because I always liked it when the original Dino Rangers came out and Tommy was involved.
I remember that. Yeah,
Green Ranger was involved with that because he was a teacher and stuff. So it all ties together. And I'm trying to figure out how they're going to tie this back with the other ones. Because it was just so cool that the Green Ranger, she goes, I just can't do a skirt, and rips it off. And so priceless. It was like I go, this is cool. And so because I had watched the first episode and I didn't quite get into it, but then when I heard they was introducing the new Black Ranger and a new Green Ranger, because the other two keys were like in an orb, and then the one kid just accidentally drops the orb, and there's the keys. It was one of those scenarios, and it's like I don't know if they're twins, they're brothers, sisters. I don't know if they're twins, but they take the keys and then they're chosen to be the new Rangers. So they team up with the other 3. So there's 5 now,
Aye.
I know. I mean, how many times can we reintroduce these? I can't believe you did that.
Oh, I'm sorry, Richard, but the minute you said the words Power Ranger, it was just like pink. Wait for it. It was literally the Star Wars guy in my head. Stay on target. You kept talking, and I'm listening. I'm like, almost there. Stay on target. And it was like,
Well, the original Green Ranger is actually going to be in Columbus tomorrow at the Laughing Ogres. So,
oh no shit.
yeah.
Jason.
Yeah. I was going to try to look it up, and I go, nah.
Yeah.
I didn't get a ticket, so. But if you're in that area, and because one of the Red Rangers was just at Comic Town a couple weeks ago, you know.
Yes,
so.
I remember seeing pictures from that.
And then
I'll give it this though, Richard. At least I was one of those guys. I was a huge fan of the first ones. I think I just kind of, I don't want to say I outgrew it, but I love the original Power Rangers. I just lost interest in it. But I will say this about the Power Rangers. At least the Power Rangers is one of those properties that could essentially be like timeless.
Oh yeah.
You know, like the world in those units, the world will never not have a use for the Power Rangers. You know, it's not like they have to revamp or reboot or anything. You know, it's always just been this group's retired, new people.
Yeah.
This group's retired, new people. Now we're in space. You know, it's
they said it different locations, different planets. I always remember they had that huge one with all the Red Rangers.
Yes, I remember seeing stuff about that one.
That episode was really wild because they brought like all the Pathons in.
Yeah,
you know? I mean, that's the best way to describe it because it was all from different time frames, different worlds and stuff like that, and they all had to team up and stuff. It was like, wow, this is crazy. But and then there was another one where they had like Rangers from other ones cross. I still watch them. I don't know. I just think it's funny,
I remember, Richard, because I have a couple friends that are like diehard Power Ranger fans, and they're always showing clips. And I do remember them sharing clips where it was like something happened like every Ranger ever. Now, granted, it was probably just like the same guy in the suit. They just
yeah.
But it was like all of them.
Yeah,
and it was like football stadium filled of like every Ranger ever.
Well, they had to do it. They had to sell more toys. They had to bring back the retro line.
Vaguely speaking, not bringing stuff back, but you ready to feel really old, Richard? I'd seen on Facebook just this last week that this last week was the 30th anniversary for Ninja Turtles 2 Secret of the Ooze.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I remember doing the math going, wait a minute, if that movie's 30 years old, I remember seeing it at the theater. Because I remember, dude, there are a few things that have made the cut in my memory, Richard. But me, Craig, Tony, Keith, and Gerald walking from the mall where our parents dropped us off, walking across a parking lot, thinking we were big shits, walking across a parking lot to Cinema 123 to see that movie at the theater.
Yeah, that's where I saw it. You saw it opening night?
It might not have been opening night, but I was definitely that Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it Friday because I used to work at Time Warner just down the street, so I would always pop in.
And I don't care what anybody says. Oh, I know the reason why it popped. That makes so much sense because I'll be back right here. I'll be right back.
Oh no, Mike's got to go get something else. Power Rangers, and Turtles, Nickelodeon really has it going with both of those properties, So when you have one, you have both.
No, this came out just last week. I have been a religious subscriber to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books. They're up to issue 115. I bought every one. The comic books are phenomenal. They recently, I wouldn't say reintroduced, but they introduced Toka and Toka and Reza from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. They are yeah. So yeah, that makes so much sense now, knowing that they were preparing for the anniversary.
Yeah.
God, that makes me love it even more, Richard. Because I kept thinking, it's like they're great characters, but like why? Because it was like a couple episodes, a couple issues ago. Like why now?
Yep.
Now it makes perfect sense. So, all right, Rich, we have officially done it. We hit, yay!
We did the 2 hour.
So, anything else, real quick, Rich, to add before we go?
No, just the same old. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, Richard, for anybody that may be watching and or listening, could you please tell them where they can find all of our social media stuff?
Just pop on over to undergroundvideonetwork.com. That's where you'll find our video archive, the UVN Plus video archive, where you can see all the episodes. And, I just happened to rebroadcast the Chad Vader
episode. Saw that, dude. Dude, I love those flashbacks. I'm not going to lie to you, Richard. Sometimes I'm one of those people, it's hard for me to watch and or listen to myself.
Right.
Oh, no. I was like, oh, my God, that was the one with Chad Vader. That was the one at Bake. Oh no, I wanted to watch that one. That was a trip. That was a memory lane trip right there, dude.
Yeah, it was so wild. We even had like Sean Forney's video that I made and stuff in that episode. That was so crazy, And then I've been handpicking certain ones. So tune in on Thursday and Fridays on our Facebook page. And I've been even starting to share it on our Twitter and Instagram pictures. So, it's pretty cool that we can go back and see older episodes. And we're talking just 10 years ago. It's been crazy time. So Underground Video Network, find all our links. You can find the We Talk Too Much. The audio podcast is listed there, or find where you can watch it other places. And of course, all our socials links are there also. So thanks for tuning in and finding where you can find all that stuff.
So, behalf on myself, Michael Borup, and Richard Cadjon, thank you everybody for listening and or watching. We hope everybody is staying safe. We hope to see you very soon at a comic book convention or even the comic book store. Fingers crossed real soon. Thank you again. Richard, if you would kindly